Okay, friends, so this is the video of a lifetime. This is where we are going to be talking about key questions for B1, B2 visas. So if you've been waiting all this while for some of the questions that you are going to be asked at the embassy, this is the video that is going to lead you to that. So pay very attention closely, listen carefully, and see how we attempt some of these questions and explain what some of these questions mean, because you're definitely going to encounter at least 3 of these questions at the interview on your interview day. So let's go to Alfred. Alfred.
Hey Paul, yes, I'm coming for my visa and today you are my consoler, so I'm here. Interview me.
Right, so I have some key questions that I'm going to ask Alfred, and Alfred's going to tell us, how he would attempt answering those questions, or at least what those questions mean. So Alfred, the first question that I have here on my list is, what is the purpose of your visit to the U.S.?
So here, obviously, you must clearly state your purpose, state why you are visiting the U.S. Don't just say, I'm going to visit my friend. Why? You need to add the why. That's very important.
That's right. Okay, that's very, very important. And, for some people, it may be different things. So you have to really understand what you're going to do in the U.S. and be able to answer that. The second question I have here is, have you traveled to the U.S. before?
This is just a yes or no answer. So yes, I have traveled. 2020, I went to visit, or I went for medical examination. Or no, I have not had any reason to travel.
That's right. Okay, very straightforward. Okay, the other question that I have is, do you have relatives in the United States?
Here it's tricky. If you have relatives in the United States, you must mention them. However, make sure that the people you are mentioning are legal residents. If you mention somebody who is overstaying or who is here illegally, automatically it is going to affect you. And yes, so don't go and put somebody in trouble. But make sure you are truthful enough. And if you are coming to visit somebody, of course, you know the person. So maybe you must have an idea. If you are coming to visit your girlfriend, yes, I have my girlfriend, but I have my unrelated uncle or an uncle I know. So this is just personal question based on your situation. Don't lie about it. However, make sure that you don't mention names that will complicate your own situation.
That's right. That's a very good advice over there. The other question that I have is, who will be sponsoring your visit? It's about money, right?
Yes.
Who will be sponsoring your visit?
Here, straightforward, mention people, those who are sponsoring you, and why they are sponsoring you, how much they earn, and if or the relationship you have with them. And if you are sponsoring yourself, you tell the consular that you are sponsoring yourself, how much you have allocated, how much you earn, the kind of job you do. So this is how you answer that question.
Okay, very helpful, Alfred. Next question is, where will you be staying in the U.S.?
So here you must have a full idea of where you'll be staying. If you have booked your own hotel, you must know where the hotel is. You must have an idea of the address, and be willing to provide the address. Oh, I'll be staying at 66 South Columbia Drive, in Decatur, Georgia. I'll be staying with my uncle. Straightforward. Or I'll be staying in a hotel, Holiday Inn, which is in Atlanta, Decatur, 66 White House Drive. So you must be specific. Provide the address. Know these key information.
Yeah. So let's say they want to know more about the person sponsoring you. Going back to the sponsoring question, and they ask a question like, what does the individual sponsoring you do for a living? If it is an individual, or if they want to know more about the organization sponsoring you, tell me more about the organization. How do you go about
it? So you provide the name of the individual, as I said, what the person does, and if it is an organization, you provide the name of the organization, what the organization do, and what relationship you have with the organization. And here you must be willing, or you must have document to prove it in case they want to ask questions. So have an idea of who is sponsoring you. The relationship between you and the person must be clearly established, and why the person is sponsoring you must also be established.
There are a few other questions that may come about the individual sponsoring you. That is sort of unpredictable, but it's important for you to just know as much as you can about the individual sponsoring you. Maybe the visa class that they have, how they got into the US, where they live in the US, how many years they've been, and and any information at all about the person sponsoring, if the person is in the US. I'm going to skip some of that and go to, if you're traveling with your spouse, right? They'll ask you, okay, will your spouse be accompanying you on this visit or no?
This is a yes or no answer. So if you are going with somebody, not just your spouse, you just mention yes. If you are not going with anybody, you just say no, I'm going alone.
Okay. Then the other question that they may ask you is, what do you plan to do in the United States in terms of like specifics? What are you doing?
So here, it is important, and this question can be asked anytime. So expect it. What do you plan to do? You must have an itinerary. Yeah. Even if you are coming for a conference, know specific conference activities that you'll be doing. If you are coming for a visiting somebody, know some of the things that you'll be doing. If you are coming for graduation, within the time that you'll be spending, have an overview of what you need to do. That's just what we call the itinerary. So you quickly tell the consular. So you must know some of these things. You should be willing to know, or you must know what you'll be doing when you come to the United States.
Yeah, I think that's a very good advice. The other question is same in that line, right? What are some of the places that you wish to visit in the U.S.? And I think this is going to be very specific to the tourist people, the vacation people. So how do you approach that kind of question?
Yeah, so that one too is straightforward answers, because you know where you are coming to, places that you are coming to. You are coming to Orlando, you visit the children's park, you visit. So you are just providing names. So you must know some of the places that you want to visit as well.
Yeah, a few questions about travel plans. So maybe they may ask you about tickets. Have you already booked your tickets? How would you approach that kind of question?
Yes, if you have, you say yes. If you have not, you say no. Like that cannot have any influence on your visa, because the consulates agree that sometimes you don't even have to make specific plans before you travel. You can just reserve a ticket, but you don't buy your ticket. So you can say, yes, I've reserved a ticket, but you must be willing to show it to them if they ask you.
That's right. Another question that might come up is, have you traveled elsewhere? Out, not the US, but elsewhere before? Have you gone other places before?
So here, be specific. If you've gone to somewhere before, you just said, yes, I've gone this, I've traveled here. Note that if you have traveled elsewhere and you have records, you have issues, you must be willing to explain when those come up, and you don't have to lie about it, because the consular have your passport in front of him, right? So you have to be very specific and give a yes or no answer.
That's good. Yeah, a few more questions about you yourself, right? This time, all the questions so far about other things, where you're going, what you want to do, and all that. But a few questions like, where do you work, or what do you do?
Yes, so basically, for example, I'm a student in my third year at the University of Ghana, and we are on a vacation, so I'm going to visit my father in the United States before I come for my final year and graduate.
That's good.
Yeah, so you just mention what you do and explain what you do. So you mention what you do and explain what you do. Very important.
That's right. Yeah. And then maybe they want to know a little bit more, so they ask you, how much money do you make from what you do? Like, what's your income?
Yeah.
So
salary? Basically, you tell them your income, your salary. You may tell them your salary, and if you have other streams of income too, you mention it. Maybe the kind of business you do, you are a teacher, but you also have your own mobile money merchant stores that gives you money. You mention that in order to just show that you have sizable, you earn sizably. Yeah.
And then, just rarely do they do that, but just in case they ask very directly, what are some of the guarantees, or what are some of the reasons? Tell me why you are going to return back to this country. Like, if they ask you very directly.
Yes. So this is where you're going to show your ties to your home country. Said, yes, I'm going to return to my home country because my wife is pregnant and we are expecting our third baby in a month's time, and I'm so excited about it. Actually, we are expecting a girl, and she will be our only girl, so I'm so happy about it. I'm going to return because I have to return to come and continue my job. I just have 2 weeks leave, and I'm required to continue to return because I have a contract with my employer that I cannot defer. I would have to return because I have a business in my home country where I owe 2 or 3 Uber cars that people use to work for me. So because of that, I will return to my home country. And besides, I'm just going for 2 weeks, spend time with my fiancée, and come back and prepare for our wedding, which will take place in 6 months' time. Hulele.
That's right. Okay, a few more questions for you, just in case they may want to know more about my family, and they ask, okay, tell me about your family, or maybe how many children do you have, or how many relatives do you have, or do you have a family of your own? How do you approach those kinds of questions?
Yes, so here specifically, you should describe your family. And it is important to describe it in a way that will be convincing, right? So yes, I have a family, I have a wife, and we have 2 children, and also I also live with my parents. My parents are aged, so they live with me. Myself and my wife takes care of my parents, and my wife's parents are teachers, and my father-in-law is a politician or is this. I also have all my brothers in Ghana. My senior brother works with the electricity company of Ghana, and our junior brother is in the high school. So all my family are here. So you are just giving a description of who your family is. Yeah,
that's right. I think that's really helpful. I mean, I am the VO for this meeting, so I approve your visa, Alfred.
yes. Yeah. And also there are times that they will ask you, why are you traveling at this time?
Yeah, sometimes they'll ask you that. Yeah.
So at this time here, you explain because you have a leave at this time, or you explain because the person you are going to visit, this is the time the person have time. For you.
Yeah, this is the right time.
Yes,
yeah.
It is this time because this is the time the conference is being held.
Yes.
And you have a leave. So these are some of the things that the questions you should be expecting. And also expect other questions that has to do with who you are, as Paul said, the person you are going to visit, and general question about what you do in your home country. Right. They are very, very important, and they will ask you. Prepare. If you need help with any question, or you have any doubt, or you need any help in any way, you want us to answer your question, just send us an email, beitlamad@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Let us know if this video is helpful. Like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for being here, and we are glad that we could share, or we could see you here. Always remember that theology
is fine.
Is fine.